Hello everybody, this is your favorite squirrel, the Mad Salvi, coming to you once again, this time with some really disturbing news when it comes to Nijisanji. This is about the contract that they had with Sayu, formerly known as Zaion, as everyone knows now. They really messed up here, and it shows really some bad sides of Nijisanji, and I really wanted this to come out, because I think everyone needs to know. As I had mentioned, Zaion / Sayu synchronicity was given only 3 hours to mutually leave, according to her own words, from Nijisanji, when Nijisanji decided to end the contract and end her time with them. Now that is not fun. That is not a good thing. That is not anything that anyone would desire to happen. This is just, wow. I did not expect this type of news to come out right now. But it doesn't surprise me when it comes to Nijisanji, because we all know what has currently been happening with Nijisanji, what they did with selen tatsuki, what they seem to have done with other talents, with the list that I mentioned of all the talents that have been gone. This is not a good look for them. This is not anything that I think their PR team would enjoy. But I think what it ends up being is the NDA is either expired or expiring for Zaion, so she has less risk, less ideas of, them going after her legally. Because as we know, Zaion has retained lawyers always, and they are, of course, advising her correctly. Now, what this person says here is, it says, Nijisanji gave her a contract and had only 3 hours to sign if she wanted to leave on mutual terms. Zaion sent it to her lawyer, but there is not enough time to wait for a reply. Because, of course, when you're talking about a lawyer, the lawyer's going to want a couple of days to look it over and see what's going on, make sure that there's nothing that's going to affect their client, make sure that there's nothing that's going to affect anyone negatively, make sure that, in this case, Sayu has enough protections for herself, but they didn't want to wait. They asked for more time to consult with her lawyer, but Nijisanji refused. Because as we know already, Nijisanji wants a lot of things done on their timeline, and it's not only Nijisanji. It can't be unfair to the party, both parties. Nijisanji is like any other corporation. They're going to want things on their terms. Of course, they're going to want, they already want out, so they're going to want things on their terms. I'm not defending anybody. I'm not pushing anybody down. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to be objective here. Deadline passes and she doesn't sign it. Suddenly, they throw her another 3 hours after the deadline. So basically they say you can have another 3 hours. Basically they say you can have another 3 hours, from what I understand here. Finally, Zaion got to chat with her lawyer, who confirmed that it's just a silencing gig and not worth signing. So the specific agreement that they had here, from what I'm getting from what's going on, they wanted a non-disparagement, non-disclosure, and actually like a gag order on her when it came to what she could say, what she could do, anything to benefit the organization, from what it seems like. This is, of course, only one side we're hearing, so until we hear the other side, which is probably not going to happen, we cannot be 100% sure. But Sayu does not seem like a bad faith actress in this case, so she is someone that I would tend to believe. Zaion asked what she gets for signing it, said it would be better for your future. So that kind of rings as a thinly veiled threat. Basically, you sign this, everything's going to go well for you. You don't sign this, we can end your career. We can do something to make sure your career does not continue. That is what I'm getting from this. Again, this may not be the case. This may be my misunderstanding of the whole situation, but that's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting that they're saying, since they're saying it would be better for your future, kind of like saying, we have a lot of connections here, without saying it. We have a lot of connections here. Remember, we're a large company. We can make sure that you're blacklisted if you don't sign this. That is something that is not too strange with corporations, because I have been told by managers myself, because I was part of an entertainment organization in the past. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to name and shame or anything like that, because they were actually good to me. But what my manager told me, it's like, yes, NDAs, we cannot enforce them in your state, but what we can do is that we talk to each other. They talk to each other. He specifically said, this is not a threat. This is not anything like that. This is just what I've heard from people that I know in the industry. You won't directly be hurt by this, but they may talk and be like, hey, this person who worked for you is coming for us. And at lunch, you could be like, oh yeah, they've been talking bad about us or something. I'm not sure if that's legal or not, but it can still be said. And as long as the other person doesn't say anything against the organization, then I think they can get away with it. That's just my opinion. I may be right. I may be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I am absolutely not a lawyer. And at the end, it says 3 hours passes. She doesn't sign it, which is a good idea on her part. So they dropped a termination notice with all the smearing bullet points in it and the VOD link for the timestamp that we're going to get to right now.
And then I was like, can I at least have time to ask my lawyer? And they were like, nah, the time limit is here. And I was like, okay, well, shit. And then so I eventually went to the lawyer, and I eventually got to tell him after the time limit, after I asked them for an extension. I was like, please, can I have an extension to look at it a little bit longer? And then they were like, no. And then when I asked for the 3-hour extension and the time had reached the time, I was like, well, fuck, I'm doomed anyway. They're going to release the announcement, and it's just going to say, like, we didn't mutually leave. And then they said, then when I reached the limit, the time, they said, okay, you asked for a 3-hour extension, fine, here you go. And I'm like, you're giving it to me now after we reach the time limit and I haven't signed it? Is this how desperate you are to get me to sign it?
This is what it seems like more than anything to me. It seems like they were getting desperate for her to sign it because then she could speak out whenever she wanted to. They were afraid of anything getting out that would negatively affect them. They were afraid of the bad publicity. Too late now, because now with Selen's termination, they've gotten a lot of bad publicity. But I think people would not have turned on Zaion and on Sayu during that moment when she was at her lowest. They would not have turned on her if all of this had gotten out then. But she was talking to her lawyers, and her lawyers probably advised her that it was best not to, as lawyers tend to do because they want to protect their clients, and I respect that.
And that's when I finally gave it to my lawyer, and then I just declined it. Sorry, that was the order.
And that is the main order that we're seeing here when it comes to everything.
Anyways, yeah, so that's what happened.
And she continues. That she's going to continue about what's going on now.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to sign it. Because even on their side, on the agency side, they were like, oh, I was like, well, what do I get from signing it? And they were like, oh, we think it would be better for your future. They actually, and the screenshot says that too, we think it would be better for your future if the termination said mutually left. And I'm like, well, yes, it would be, wouldn't it? Fuck you. And that's actually what they said. That was what their offer was.
And that makes me think something a little bit different. What I mentioned before was just before I had gotten all the information. But still, it seems like a thinly veiled threat to me. Because, yes, of course, it will be better for her future if it says mutually left. But they wanted to silence her. And they gave her 3 hours and 6 hours in total. That's not enough time to make any kind of contractual anything. And that's not enough time to have her consider whether it is in her best interest or not. Either way, I don't trust that Nijisanji would have kept everything moving on well, because they just haven't shown themselves to be that competent at what they're doing. There was incompetence throughout the whole thing, and I don't like that.
They were like, we think it would be better for your future if it said mutually leaving. I'm like, yes, it would be. Well, fuck you. Yeah, so I just said fuck
that's
it.
That's Sayu in a nutshell.
Because I mean, like, that's not worth signing some stupid silencing contract. But I guess maybe it was, because everyone gave me shit for outing them anyway. So what the fuck, man? Maybe I should have just shut the fuck up. I don't know. But yeah, no. So I turned down the mutually left exclusive thing for this, and then it still got shit for it. So fuck it.
It's really messed up that they would do that. It's really messed up that they would in fact, make it such a short time period. 3 hours, then deadline passes. Then another 3 hours, and then everything goes bad. I don't like that they did this kind of stuff, and from what you can see here, other people didn't like it as well. People were saying, Niji management, sign this contract in 3 hours or else. Also Niji management, hey, hi Selen, sorry for the 36-hour late reply. Yes, it is do as I say, not as I do type of situation, where this isn't strange from my experience in corporate culture. I think it's a miscommunication a lot of times with legal and PR and HR and all that other kind of stuff. And they really seem to have wanted her out, but wanted her out in a way that would prevent them from getting any kind of negative press. This is the issue that we're seeing now with Nijisanji. They had a bad PR department. Their HR department doesn't seem to be knowing what they're doing when it comes to Western talents, just based on their actions so far. Anybody that's in management or higher up management also doesn't seem to know what's going on. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. That is no way to run an organization. That is no way to run an organization that has human beings' talents that you are managing. So this is just rings really bad for me. As someone else points down here, it is possibly also unenforceable in the place where Sayu is at, which is in America, and especially in the state that I'm in, California, it would make that kind of unenforceable because you need to give a reasonable time. From my understanding, again, I'm not a lawyer, you need to give a reasonable time frame for the person to actually have legal counsel look at it, or at least look it over, think it out, and do that. Most places will, when I've had to sign a contract, will give you like a day or two to sign the contract and sign any kind of agreements like that. I've had NDAs, I've had non-disparagement agreements that I've signed, I've had NDAs due to lawsuits and things like that that I've had to sign. They'll usually give you a day, they'll usually give you time for your lawyer to look at, even when there is an adversarial relationship happening because you just sued somebody. That is just my personal experience. So they really messed up on this one, I think. They would have made it unenforceable, but as well, like I said, and like Sayu said, if you go to court with these people, they will bleed you dry of money. They'll make it so that you spend way so much money that you are not able to recover from this. And as this person says, due to the combination of duress and unconscionable provisions in the contract. It's why they usually throw a cash payment into those kinds of contracts. It's harder to argue Corp threatened to screw me via PR when you get a cash as a part of a transaction. They didn't do this with her, and I don't think even if they did, just knowing Sayu, I don't think it probably would have worked at all either. She doesn't seem like the kind of person that could be paid off for any of this kind of stuff. She's a very principled person, just from my understanding. And it really sucks that she had this bad type of situation happen to her. I'm glad that she's doing so much better because she seems so much more happy. But this is more of a cautionary tale for people that may want to go into Nijisanji. People that may want to do something with an organization like this. Be careful, cross your T's and dot your I's. Have a lawyer look at every single contract that you're going to sign because you need to protect yourself. You are valuable and you deserve to have the protection you need through legal means because you're the one who's going to be working and suffering if it's a bad contract. This is the Mad Salvi once again, letting you know thank you for watching this video. Comment down below, let me know what you think about this bad Sayu contract. Let me know what goes on with this whole situation in your mind. And also, of course, all my social media is in the description below. My Discord is a wonderful place that I would love for you guys to join if you guys decide to. It's a nice, calm place, free of drama, free of all this. It's just a place for you to relax and chill. Finally, a video in front of you that is about recent events. I hope that you enjoy it and have a wonderful day. Hydrate and take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.